Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started. Dominik Mysterio has reacted to Liv Morgan's massive shot at Rhea Ripley in her latest tweet. Liv Morgan called Ripley the loser, and Dirty Dom ended up retweeting the photo. Dominik doesn't belong to the nightmare anymore. Rhea Ripley lost her Dom to Liv Morgan at SummerSlam 2024 when Dominik betrayed her and cost her the Women's World title win. Ripley now wants nothing but to exact revenge on the duo. After her loss to Liv Morgan at SummerSlam 2024, Rhea Ripley couldn't control her emotions and was spotted crying backstage. Damian Priest consoled Ripley in a heartfelt moment that was captured by WWE's cameras. Liv later shared the image on her Twitter handle and called Mommy a loser. Dominik Mysterio was seemingly pleased with the insult and retweeted it, as can be seen below. Dominik Mysterio grew close to Liv Morgan during Rhea Ripley's absence. Liv Morgan had vowed earlier this year that she would take everything from Mommy in her revenge tour. She carried out her plan over the course of several months and eventually succeeded. Liv first put Ripley out of action so that she wouldn't be able to interfere in her quest to woo Dominik. She then won the Women's World title that Rhea had to vacate on WWE Raw. Over the next few months, Liv somehow managed to convince Dominik that she loved him dearly and cared for him more than Mommy ever could. Her plan worked in the end, and Dominik turned on Rhea Ripley at SummerSlam 2024. A blockbuster rematch between Ripley and Liv Morgan is bound to happen sometime in the near future. It remains to be seen if the Eradicator manages to pick up a win the next time she faces Liv in the squared circle. Dominik Mysterio sat alone in his locker room, the distant murmur of the WWE crowd resonating through the walls. He had just finished his match, a hard-fought battle that left his muscles aching and his mind racing. Tonight, though, it wasn't his victory or loss in the ring that occupied his thoughts. It was the words of Liv Morgan that had shaken him to his core. Dominik's phone buzzed incessantly with notifications, social media blowing up, wrestling forums ablaze, and text messages from friends and family all asking the same question: "Did you hear what Liv said?" He knew exactly what they were referring to. Liv Morgan, the fiery and fearless superstar who had never backed down from a challenge, had called Rhea Ripley the loser in a backstage interview. The words echoed in Dominik's mind, not just as a casual insult, but as a declaration that hit deeper than he ever expected. Rhea Ripley wasn't just another wrestler to Dominik, she was his mentor, his partner in the Judgment Day, and someone he admired greatly. She had taken him under her wing when others doubted him, helped him find his footing in a business that could be merciless, and, above all, treated him like family. For Liv to call Rhea a loser was more than just trash talk, it was an attack on someone Dominik held dear. The door to his locker room creaked open, and Finn Balor stepped inside, his usual smirk replaced by a concerned frown. "You all right, kid?" Finn asked, leaning against the wall with his arms crossed. Dominik nodded, though the expression on his face told a different story. "Just thinking about what Liv said," he admitted, his voice tinged with frustration. Finn sighed, pushing off the wall and walking over to sit beside Dominik on the bench. "She's trying to get under Rhea's skin, and yours too," Finn said. "You know how it is, mind games, psychological warfare. But you can't let it get to you." "I know," Dominik replied, though his tone was unconvincing. "But it's not just the words. Liv has always been so tough, so resilient. For her to call Rhea a loser, it feels like a betrayal." Finn nodded, understanding the deeper connection between Dominik and Rhea. "It's not easy, especially when you care about someone. But you have to remember, this is the business we're in. It's all about perception, and Liv's trying to shift the narrative. Don't let her." Dominik took a deep breath, Finn's words making sense, but the anger inside him still simmered. He could see Liv's mocking expression in his mind, the way she confidently declared Rhea a loser to the WWE Universe. It was a cheap shot, but one that could do real damage if left unchallenged. "I'm not going to let her get away with it," Dominik said, determination settling in his voice. "Rhea's done too much for me, for all of us, to let someone like Liv disrespect her." Finn grinned, the smirk returning to his face. That's the spirit, Dom. But remember, this isn't just about throwing punches. You've got to be smart about how you handle this. Liv's playing a game, and if you want to win, you've got to play it better. Dominik nodded again, his mind already racing with ideas. He couldn't let Liv's words go unanswered, but he also couldn't afford to let his emotions drive him into a trap. He had to be strategic, just as Rhea had taught him. The following week on WWE Raw, Dominik found his opportunity. He had requested mic time from the producers, and as his music hit, the crowd erupted in a mix of cheers and boos. He made his way to the ring, a determined look on his face as he prepared to address the WWE Universe. Last week, Dominik began, pacing around the ring. Liv Morgan decided to run her mouth, calling Rhea Ripley, a woman who has dominated this business, who has held championships and beaten the best. She called her a loser. The crowd responded with a mixture of reactions, some siding with Liv, others clearly backing the Judgment Day. Now, I get it, Dominik continued, stopping to face the hard camera. This is WWE. We're all here to prove ourselves, to talk trash, to get inside each other's heads. But Liv, you crossed a line when you disrespected Rhea. You think calling her a loser is going to give you an edge? You think it's going to make you look tough? Well, let me tell you something, Rhea Ripley is anything but a loser. Dominik's voice grew louder, more impassioned. Rhea has done more for this business, for me, and for the Judgment Day than you could ever understand. She's a fighter, a champion, and most importantly, she's family. You don't mess with family, Liv. The crowd popped for Dominik's fiery speech, clearly invested in the brewing rivalry. So here's what's going to happen, Dominik declared, pointing to the camera as if speaking directly to Liv Morgan. You want to disrespect Rhea? Fine. But be prepared to face the consequences. Because if you think you're going to walk all over us and get away with it, you've got another thing coming. As Dominik dropped the mic and his music played, the crowd's energy surged. He had made his point clear, Rhea Ripley wasn't alone in this fight, and Liv Morgan's words wouldn't go unanswered. But as Dominik walked up the ramp, his heart still raced. He knew this was just the beginning. Liv Morgan wasn't someone who backed down easily, and neither was Rhea. Backstage, Dominik found Rhea waiting for him, her arms crossed and a small smile playing on her lips. Not bad, kid, she said, giving him a nod of approval. Had to set the record straight, Dominik replied, feeling a weight lift off his shoulders. Rhea chuckled, placing a hand on his shoulder. I appreciate it, but remember, we don't just talk. We act. Let's show Liv what happens when you mess with the Judgment Day. Dominik nodded, his resolve strengthening. The battle lines were drawn, and he knew the road ahead would be tough. But with Rhea by his side, he was ready for whatever came next.